Where are 1% of American adults?
Jail.
Yes. 1% of American adults.
Jail.
Yes.
3 million people are locked up. 3 million people are locked up.
So you're talking about between 2.5 and 3 million, so 3 million and 3 million, say. More than twice as many as South Africans, more than 3 times as many as the Iranians, more than 6 times as many as the Chinese. No society in history has imprisoned more of its citizens than the United States of America. No society in history.
The law was passed that allowed privately owned corporations to build and operate prisons.
It is a bit bonkers. It is a bit bonkers. But the racial numbers are a bit worrying. And the gender numbers, it's 1 in 30 men aged 20 to 34 is behind bars. But for black males, that's 1 in 9. 1 in 9. 1 in 9.
And I was never offered a lawyer, never explained to my rights to a lawyer or what benefits it would have.
There are more 17-year-old black people in jail than in college.
In order to make sure that they had enough kids to fill slots in these child care facilities.
1 in 9 behind bars. 1 in 9.
And the child care facilities themselves, they pay the bribes.
I was never depressed. I was never put on meds before. I went there and they just started putting meds on me, and I didn't even know what they were. They said if I didn't take them, I wasn't following my program. I mean, I was never medicated in my life, nor diagnosed with depression. And
You began cutting yourself in jail?
yes,
Non-violent drug offenders. Non-violent drug offenders.
More than 1 in 100. 1 in 100. More than 1 in 100 are in jail.
The law was passed that allowed privately owned corporations to build and operate prisons.
In America, they've reinvented the slave trade. They've reinvented the slave trade. It is a business.
They trade their stock on Wall Street based upon the number of people that are in jail.
It is a business.
Two judges who have pled guilty to receiving $2.6 million in return for placing youths in privately owned jails.
It is a business.
And the role of the police at the schools, Miss?
The police, in order to make an arrest, it really varies, in many ways.
You're not allowed to bring into America anything that's been made by forced labor or prisons. But in America, they've reinvented the slave trade. They produce 100% of all military helmets, ammunition belts, bulletproof vests, ID tags and other items uniform. 93% of domestically produced paints, 36% of home appliances, 21% of office furniture.
Slavery. 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 Slavery.
Reinvented the slave trade, which allows the United States to compete with factories in Mexico. Because, of course, obviously the workers can't refuse to work.
Something must be done.
Get solitary confinement if you refuse to work. Get solitary confinement if you refuse to work.
Something must be done. Something must be done. Something must be done. Something must be done.
More than 1 in 100 American adults are in jail. 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 Jail.